I think our ticket sales process and check-in process really went very well at the festival.
How was the learning for teaching new people how to use that check-in app?
Yeah, I did. So the festival is, somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 attendees. Like, this is not a small thing. It took me 2 30-minute training sessions to train an entire staff on how to use it. So the first training was virtual. That was for the music camp. And I did a screen share and showed them how to scan a QR code, how to scan an Apple Wallet code, how to pull up someone by name, how to check in the correct tickets and whatnot. And then the second training session was in person at the resort, and it was equally as smooth and fast. So I find that at Targhee, it was a very low lift, very lightweight lift to train people on this. And I've also trained other bluegrass festivals in Colorado on how to do this, like Rapid Grass and the Snowy Grass Festival. And in those festivals, their check-in staff were all volunteers of a variety of levels of technical savvy, to put it, in certain terms. And I found that by the end of the first day, even people who were relatively unfamiliar with apps and technology, were able to train volunteers on how to use it. So I find that the app is incredibly intuitive, and in the various festivals that I've worked with, it's been very easy for people to pick up and train others on.
Now, what are some of the common questions that you'll hear when training people on the app?
To be honest with you, I don't get a lot of questions because it's very straightforward. This is the record. This is how you check them in. There's a button. I guess one of the common questions is, how do I check in the correct number of tickets? How do I know if I'm checking the correct number of tickets? And so on the display, when you pull up a person's record, you can see a list of all the tickets. There's a button at the top to check everything in, or you can kind of a la carte it. It takes about 10 seconds to describe. But the complexity for the app usage in these festivals is, one more. The other kind of common question is, what happens if my phone loses connection? Or I don't have Wi-Fi, how am I going to do this? What's a queued edit? And so our app works really well if it has connection to the cloud or to Wi-Fi, so that it can push data up. But it also works if the app or if the device loses connection, and that's done through what are called queued edits. We save a local copy of the database on the phone. So if someone's phone loses connection to the network for a period of time, the check-ins and the changes that they've made will be loaded as queued edits, which will be pushed up to the cloud the minute that it regains connection. So we had a small conversation about that, what it looks like when you have a queued edit, what to do when that happens. And so that's a common question that I get, because people are concerned about not being offline, I guess, if they lose connection. And it's not a concern with the app, thanks to the queued edits, and just as long as you can get it back online. And even if you can't, you can export your queued edits and you have them there, and you can manually do it if you need to. The most complex part of the app, as far as training, is configuring the Square device. So, with many festivals, having a QR code on site to allow people to buy online with their device is a very secure way to do it. They can use their Apple Pay on their device. They can use their saved credit card information on their device, purchase tickets, and then immediately go and have the volunteer find their tickets and check them in. It's a very, very easy way to do it. There is a certain expectation in some of these festivals, in my experience, where people they have a card present, they want to buy something, and luckily our app integrates with Square. So if you have a Square account, you can integrate your Square account with with the check-in app to conduct tap to pay or card-based payments right from within the app. So a lot of the training that I did, or some of the training that I did, related to how to make a sale, which can be done from the same device, from the same app. For a volunteer, all I have to do is click the purchase button, and then now they're in the sales process where they can sell tickets. And configuring the app to connect with a Square device is done from the reader itself, by pressing the little button on the Square reader, waiting until the lights blink orange, and then Bluetooth pairing the device that's being used for check-in to that Square reader. And so long as the Square account's authorized, once that reader is connected, it's a very, very easy process. When you're training someone on that who is generally kind of unfamiliar with it, it takes about 5 minutes. But in my experience at Snowy Grass, I had people who were concerned about how complex that would be, but by the end of the first day, they were training the next crew of volunteers easily on how to do it. So I find that even though that is potentially the most complex part about the app's connections, it's still very intuitive, and it yields a really quick and easy process for people just to come up, buy something, tap their card, get their wristband, and head into the festival to have a good time.
And if anybody has any questions, like they're trying to move their music festival over to TicketSignup, where should they go for that?
Go to TicketSignup.io and click the button to schedule a call, and we'll reach out to you and chat about it. And I want to work with you, so let me know.
Well, thanks, James.
Yeah.